Welcome, everyone, to this special town council meeting this Monday, April 28th. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tanya, you want to start us off with a roll call?
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Here.
Lee Trahan,
Here.
Jeff West.
Here.
Disclosures of conflicts of interest tonight? I see none. We'll move on to old business. Order number 09-2025. If anybody from the public would like to speak, now would be the time to do it.
Madam Chair, I don't have the paperwork, so I presume that's the budget we're talking about.
I'm sorry, yes, it is.
How much time do we have? 3 minutes or 5?
Three.
Madam Chair, councilors, it's quite an understatement to say that there's a hefty dose of economic turbulence ahead. Indeed, economists are increasingly using the term catastrophic depression to describe conditions we face. The proverbial end of the road has long since been passed. While many of us have been forced to make massive adjustments post-COVID, the town council has presided over budgets that have increased spending to the tune of millions over the past 5 years. Simply put, the spending can't continue like this. The state is but an executive decision away from insolvency. The national debt is $35.8 trillion and counting. When the federal spigot of welfare is shut off, lights across the state will be out for many municipalities, including Winslow. The threat and reality of impediment to currency flow is precisely why most genuflected during the COVID years. Closures were never about disease and always about money. Despite the prospect of doom and gloom, there is tremendous opportunity for rectification during this downturn. And every one of us has a choice. Just like during COVID, you can listen to the experts, wear the mask, put on 2, stay home, get the jab, shut down schools and businesses, etc., or chart your own course. Successful mitigation will necessarily require the elimination of waste, cutting costs, salvaging where possible, amplified self-reliance, and the wherewithal to persevere. It's been said, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. Given that 2/3 of the town's budget involves the school system and that the town has been burdened by an average increase of $1 million per year, I propose that we start cutting here. After becoming aware that there are deregulation zones in the school where students are permitted to rage at the taxpayer's expense, my sentiment has been solidified. If I'm not mistaken, there's a business in town aptly named for such activity. It's called the Rage Room. Peter Thibodeau, superintendent of schools, can argue until he's blue in the face that the money is for the children. The facts couldn't be more crystal clear. Maine schools rank dead last, and the nation and Winslow schools are right in the middle of that heap. Throwing more money at the problem only further burdens those footing the bill. So the aforementioned is the body of a letter written to all of you this week, and I took the time to follow up with each of you and asked, is there anything in this letter that isn't true? One counselor, more than a bit perturbed about the interruption this past Friday during his dinner time, remarked, I understand your position, James, but my positions are entirely different than yours. While it may be true, I don't believe it's reality. So the reality, counselors, is that Governor Mills can try her damnedest not to blink during her high-stakes game of chicken, but her worldview and those of her colleagues has already been defeated. The people in the state have no appetite for drag queen story time or the peppering of illegals throughout our communities, because the majority are in the process of digesting job loss, empty bellies, and foreclosed homes. The reality is that there are 2 factors involved in property tax, the mill rate and valuation. The manipulation of one by a few hundredths of a percent does nothing to assuage the frustration of property owners like myself, who consider the doubling of property valuation a few years ago to be brazen theft. I just got one more line. Mr. Macklin, a mere 100 votes isn't exactly a landslide. Mr. Querian, Mr. Drepo, Mr. Karen, and Mr. Gravel all like-minded colleagues of yours, were handsomely defeated by newcomers, mostly thanks to people with worldviews like mine. So I'd like to advocate tonight, $3 million between the last budget last year and tonight, $17 million over the last 5 years, the best we can do. I think I would suggest shaving off $1 million from the budget. Thank you. Oh, by the way, it's James Mosier. I'm a property owner in the First District.
Anybody else like to speak? Okay, that part of the discussion is over with. We have an email.
Oh. Am I good?
Go ahead, Tanya.
Okay. I have an email from Stephanie Sabox. Sorry if I said that wrong. 15 Goodridge Lane. As the budget package is intended to stand on its own as a mechanism to obtain town council approval for the budget, I used no other material in compiling my feedback. Although there are sprinklings of set-aside and capital improvements contained, risk management techniques and assessments are not present. Similarly, there was a lack of earned value management being employed, even informally. Having no fiscal year 25 expenditure data for education K-12 included was disconcerting. Overall, even though the package seems to contain all of the department's budgets, the package being submitted for the town council's approval has a substantial amount of discrepancies and is lacking sufficient detail. The town council's approval, captured in approval memo or minutes, should explicitly state which budget numbers at the department level are approved, as the package can't be approved as a whole. In some cases, sparse justifications to substantiate the numbers proposed were given, but very few impacts were presented to understand what a decrease in a particular department's efforts would mean to the town. For the police department, 2 full-time positions, dispatch and another officer, were eliminated in this budget submission. To the outside observer, elimination in these 2 positions seems reckless without any risk and service impact assessments being presented. It is my hope that going forward, town budget packages would be more coherent and that all citizens could better understand how their tax dollars are being managed. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm done.
Okay, can we get a motion for the approval of the amended Town of Winslow 2025-2026 fiscal budget series in the amount of $34,317,533, and to establish a tax due date and interest rate on taxes remaining unpaid? Can I get a first?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Go ahead,
Chair.
Dan.
As most of you know, this budget started last February, I guess. Went through all kinds of budget workshops, both at the municipal level and the school level. In my opinion, the municipal budget is a very good budget. We passed certain things, certain items. We cut here, we cut there. Things we thought were needed, some things we didn't think were needed. The same thing with the school budget. They went through their process and did the same analysis. The school budget, in fact, came out requiring less tax dollars this year than last year. For those of you who are not aware, that is unheard of. That just doesn't happen. Give credit to superintendent, school board, all department heads, all employees of that school. To come out with that kind of budget, requesting less tax dollars from the public, is phenomenal. When we vote on this budget here tonight, we're voting on the whole budget as one. And as you probably know, I strongly disagree with how the budget was financed on the administration side with lowering the tax rate. I don't think that is economically feasible going down the road. However, to put both budgets together and vote on them as one, and because of that school budget, I will vote for this budget tonight, and I will urge our citizens, when this comes to referendum in June, I strongly urge you to approve the school budget. Thank you, Chair.
Through the chair.
Mike?
I'd like to thank everybody that's worked on the school budget. You guys did a real good job with it this year. Thank you very much for the work that you put into it. It's been really helpful. It's the beginning of a new start for this town, I think. Thank you again.
Through the chair,
Go ahead.
excuse me. My only issue is using any money out of the fund balance. We came in with a budget under last year's bill rate, which I don't think there's any other towns around doing that. We have a chance not to use the fund balance. Next year, we have $700,000 of bond payments that are gonna have to be made. And so be it. One of them happens to be $299,000, which that money that people wanna use for this budget could actually pay that one bond. That's all I have.
I wanted to say that I'm very, very pleased and thankful to the school as well. I feel like Mike, it's a new start, it's a new positive direction. Hopefully all the people realize, a lot of them don't because they've been approaching me. People need to understand, and Peter, please correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the school came in well under 200,000 below what their normal budget was. So the school has done an extremely, between all of them, a great job this year for the people of Winslow and the students. And I thank you very much. As far as the undesignated fund, I do want to remind people that in the beginning, the ex-town manager did put $950,000 from the undesignated fund onto this budget. And she still presented a budget above the 15 mill rate. When we were all finished, the school and everybody, we've got it down to 14.7. Putting 650,000 back of that 950,000, putting it back. And that, and I'm hoping, is going to be the cost, and I believe it is, for the demolition of the junior high. So we were able to use the money she originally intended for the budget to tear down that junior high and still save the people a little bit of money so that they can see a little bit of a savings this year. So I too look forward to approving this budget. Any other discussion? Can we have a roll call vote, please, to
Jeff-
approve this budget?
Yep,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Jeff West,
No.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes?
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan.
No.
Motion passes 5-2.
Moving on to order number 808-2025. Authorization for the town manager to sign the amended 3-year contract with the Fraternal Order of Police representing the Winslow Police Department personnel. Do I have a motion?
No move.
Second.
Any discussion? And can we have a vote?
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes?
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Next order, number 10-2025, authorization for the town manager to sign the attached solid waste collection agreement with Pine Tree Waste for the period from July 1st, 2025 to June 30, 2028. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Dale Macklin,
Yes?
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Order number 11-2025, to increase in the sewer flow rate and base charge for public sewer users. The flow rate charge for use of the public sewer system will be increased from $6.05 per 100 cubic feet to $6.66 per 100 cubic feet, and the base rate be increased from $44 to $48.40. This increase shall take effect July 1st, 2025. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? And can we have a vote, please?
If I may, through the chair,
Go ahead.
I mean, that, just to let everyone know, I mean, that, I believe that was a straight 10% across the board.
Okay.
I just, if anyone was curious, I just want everyone out there to know that it was a flat rate across both the usage and base fee.
Thank you, Lee.
Thanks.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Order number 13-2025, the town manager is authorized to enter into a contract with Ford Enterprise for the culvert replacement project on North Pond Road with the total contract amount not to exceed $524,000. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? And a vote, please.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
On to new business, and this one's going to be a little tricky. The first part of A, under new business, is a motion to reconsider the motion to waive the second reading of order number 14-2025. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And a vote, please.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Part B, motion to reconsider the first reading of order number 14-2025. Can I get a first?
So move.
Second.
And a vote.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
The reason, I'm just going to explain, the reason we're doing this is because the original order was not set with the purchaser's name and the amount, so we had to remove the order, and to do that, we just did that. So now we're going to go back for a motion for order number 14-2025, motion for the sale of the property acquired located at 85 Benton Ave by automatic foreclosure of a sewer lien. Can I get a first?
So move.
Second.
And a vote.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Now we need a motion to amend order number 14-2025 to include the purchase price of $60,000
So moved.
in the purchaser's name, I'm sorry. Second,
On the back.
Second.
and a vote.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
I believe now we need a motion to approve the order as amended,
So moved.
Second.
and a vote, please.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Phew, that wasn't too bad.
Can we waive the second reading? So moved.
Yep.
Second.
Can we have a vote to waive the second reading?
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to waive the second reading.
Okay. Order number 15-2025, providing for the sale of the Lithgow Library at 10 Lithgow Street. We'll have an amount soon, in the amount to and who, and the amount of which we will have shortly. Does anybody want to speak before we move on to that order?
Hello, my name is Steve Farnham, and I'm the owner of McCormick Building Supply. And I just wanted to say a few words this evening. When I was made aware that the property at 10 Lithgow Street was going to be up for bid, I decided to bid on the property because it's adjacent to our property at 8 Lithgow Street. We are pretty much landlocked there on 8 Lithgow Street with the railroad being behind us, or to one side of us. And this property would allow us the ability for future expansion. And the property currently extends into our yard, so if you ever drove in the yard and are picking up material, the property that we're discussing, part of this property is in our yard. So it made perfect sense for us to try to acquire the property. I also would like to point out that we've had the town's interest at heart with everything that we've done. We've been through 2 floods, a fire in 2019, and we reinvested back into the community. The community has also been strong supporters of us all the way through, and we appreciate that. If the decision is to award us the bid this evening, I have spoken with Bruce in the food pantry and his wife, and we would be interested in allowing them to use the Lithgow Library for a period of time. I don't know exactly how long, because it's all kind of up in the air and new to us, to both of us. I actually found out about this meeting at the last minute. I thought it was the May meeting that we were going to be discussing this. So I scrambled today to meet with and speak with our insurance company to see about insurance issues, maybe with the property, if we were to lease it, even for nothing or for a nominal amount. It looks like that is feasible, so we could explore that a little further. I wouldn't want to promise that because I don't know the unknowns, and I would do a little bit more due diligence and a little bit more work toward that, but that is definitely on the table. And I just appreciate your ear this evening and for thinking of us as a good candidate, I guess, for this. So, thank you.
Thank you,
Just
Steve.
a second, through the chair, could I ask you a few questions?
Well, we don't usually do that, but go ahead.
Thank you. As you know, Steve, all kinds of rumors have been flying around. As best you can tell us tonight, do you have any intention of tearing that building down in the foreseeable future?
No. I can't say that in 5, 10 years down the road that it wouldn't come down, but I have no intentions of tearing it down at all.
Do you feel confident, or in your talks with Bruce and the people at the food cupboard, that you could, a strong possibility that you could work out something with them on a lease arrangement to use the building for, I believe they want to use it for yard sale type things?
Yes.
Are you in negotiations, so to speak, with them?
Yeah, I mean, sort of. We spoke this morning and we spoke here when I walked in. So depending on how long they needed the building for, when we would need the building, some of the unknowns, but definitely for a year, you know, maybe a year by year situation.
Do you think you need more time to discuss these negotiations with the food pantry? To make sure everything is in agreement between the two of you, if we were to give the building to you? Or are you all satisfied that you have an agreement with both sides?
I'm just going to
Probably, yes.
interject for a moment. I think you're putting them on the spot. This is about a bid for somebody who wants to purchase property. It's not about the deals that come after. I apologize. I really don't think you should be putting him with those questions.
Well, I think that's a very important concern, for me anyway.
Well, it is, so you can
Otherwise,
talk
give
to
it to
him
him.
outside of this public hearing, because someone who wants to purchase property, I don't think you're gonna say, you know, will you do this, will you, there's no, I apologize. So we're all good at this point. Anybody else would like to speak
Well, I'll
tonight?
object to that, I'm not good at this point.
Well, okay, you can object.
Get over here. Good evening, my name is Bruce Patiglieri, I'm Director of Winslow Community Covered Food Bank. I can attest, and I believe the town manager can attest at our 10 a.m. meeting last week, that our food bank will be the only one that will be maintaining that building as it is. The other estimates that I have heard, or the bids, I should say, is turning into a house, turning into a banquet hall, which that property is not big enough for a banquet hall. And again, we would be the only one would not touch that building, tear it down, modify it severely to keep the integrity of that library to Winslow residents and the town council. If anything, we would try to explore to bring it back to a historic facility. So I just wanted to say that, and we were kind of guided by what we bid, and I kind of understand, looking at our bid compared to the other bids, it doesn't look the best, but we were kind of guided of what we should do, and, you know, with the bid letter saying what's chosen best for the people of Winslow. So, thank you for your time.
Through the
Through the
chair.
chair. May I
Go ahead,
ask a
Mike.
question?
Mike's got the floor. Go ahead.
I have one question, Bruce. You spoke with McCormick's and with Steve, and does it look like you may have a compromise there if Steve purchased it? That's the only thing I'm gonna ask.
All I'm gonna say is no one, just like Steve says, no one can predict the future. And we would be uncertain and uncomfortable unless there was a long-term opportunity or a lease. And then let me just astride for a second, because we received the news today, and I know there's been scuttlebutt. We did put the property that we have on China Road up for sale because we have determined, we have spoken to Paul, that property will not suit the food bank at this time because of the location on China Road and the safety of our clients. So we went under bid, or we actually got a loan approval to purchase 26 Lithgow Street, which is down the other end of the building. But that has nothing to do with 10 Lithgow Street. That is a separate thing that we would like to do for the yard sales. For Christie, she just raised $1,500 this past Saturday, and it took over 10 hours on Friday to set it up, manpower, do the yard sale in the pouring rain, in a power outage, and then that night turn around and clean it up. We're just looking for a building, a facility that we can do this, that we don't have to use so many volunteer hours to open this, to bring income back into the food bank. The building at 26 would be the actual food bank and our offices and storage. And that building does not have enough room for us to do the yard sale. So that's why we are exploring both locations.
Through the chair again. Is that property there, is it larger than where you're at right now at the church?
26 Lithgow?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And you couldn't do both?
No.
You can't.
No.
Okay, thank you, Bruce.
Thank you for your time.
Is there anybody else?
Come on, your back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Judy Carey, Frawley Street. I'm here to support the Winslow Community Cupboard and all that they do for the citizens of Winslow and other surrounding towns. I understand that they have placed a bid for the old Winslow Library, but a few higher bids have also been submitted. I would like the town council to keep in mind that there is something that is much more valuable than money, and that is kindness and compassion. Winslow Community Cupboard volunteers show their kindness and compassion to our citizens by working tirelessly at distributing food and working diligently at their major yard sale fundraisers. We all need to honor and support them in any way possible. I think we can all agree that lately, the reputation of this town has been quite negative. Throughout the local newspaper, throughout many forms of social media, throughout our neighboring towns, and yes, even throughout our own Winslow citizens, our reputation currently stinks. We can change that by supporting our Winslow Community Cupboard and its volunteers by accepting the bid that was submitted for the old Winslow Library. Let's support this essential organization by giving them a home, or in this case, a library. A place, at least, where the volunteers don't have to brave the elements of the cold, the wind, the rain, and sweltering summer heat and humidity as they help our citizens in need. Keep in mind that during any of our lifetimes, or under different circumstances, we could each be one of those who are in need of the services that WCC provides. It could easily be me. It could easily be you. It could easily be any one of you. I encourage you to vote with your heart and accept their bid. Let's show our citizens that kindness and compassion can always win out over money. Thank you, Bruce, Christy, and all the other volunteers for your dedicated work to the citizens of our community. Your organization is a building block that makes many of us very proud of our town. Thank you, Council, for your time.
Anybody else?
I'm Ashley Powell. I live on the Eames Road, District 5. I didn't plan on speaking tonight, but I do know a little bit more information about the food pantry. I have 5 teenage boys that have helped out over there occasionally. And even though they are doing a bit over on the other building that I just found out about, the space they have right now is literally like a shed that they work out of for their office. And then they have the outside freezers where they keep all of their food. So when you're going to get your food, they have tables set up outside. So I'm assuming what they're going to do with the 26 is make it so that their workers don't have to be out in the elements for 8 hours a day trying to fill these boxes of food. But at the same time, if they could also have the library, that would make it so they could have an income throughout the year, not just on good weather days. So hopefully that can clarify a little bit for people that haven't gone there. Thanks.
Anybody else? So before we go on to vote on this, how do we settle on the bid?
Can I do my emails?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Yes, you can.
I have 2 emails. I have Linda Merrill, 419 Benton Ave. I am writing to you to advocate for the selling of the old library to the Winslow Community Cupboard. Though they may not be the highest bidder, they provide essential food for families in need. As a volunteer, I can affirm all the good that this organization does. Bi-weekly, it's not unusual to feed 250 or more families. My guess is that they receive at least $75 or more worth of groceries. That calculates to approximately $487,000 annually that these families benefit from. Bruce or Christie would have more accurate numbers. These numbers do not include the food trucks that go to Winslow and surrounding towns, providing vegetables and other foods, which I cannot guess the value of. Additionally, the food pantry continues community building opportunities within the volunteers, which benefits the town of Winslow and its residents indirectly. Even if the highest bid is $250,000 or more, then I, as a taxpayer, I see more value in selling the property to the food pantry for $100, where it will continue to provide valuable services and food for years to come, whereas a one-time larger payment will only benefit the Winslow community once. My second one is from Mackenzie Oben on Rancourt Ave. I am writing to express my support for the Winslow Community Cupboard and to urge the town to accept their bid to purchase the old library. This is an immense need for food assistance in our area, and the Winslow Community Cupboard works extremely hard to meet the needs of those in our community who experience food insecurity. With ownership of the old library, they would be able to expand their ability to provide food at the time when resources are scarce and the need is great. While I understand they were unable to provide the highest bid, I urge the council to consider the positive impact that the Winslow Community Cupboard has in our community and to prioritize their very important work over whatever short-term profit could be made by selling the building to somebody else. Thank you for your consideration. That's all I had.
Steve, did you want to take it from here?
Yeah, do you have the bids? Do you want the bids to read?
You can.
Okay. Through the chair?
Sure.
We received a total of 4 bids. The first bid is Winslow Community Cupboard at $100. Sean Anderson from the town of Oakland for $15,000. The third bid, McCormick Building Supply, $20,000. And fourth and final bid is Ford, Mr. Dan Ford with Ford LLC, $21,300. So I forwarded also over the past week an email that contained the intended use as put forth by each bidder on what they intend to use the building for. I sent that to all the counselors and all the bidders, so everybody could see everything was all transparent. So that's where we are with the 4 bids.
So I guess I'll ask Bill, how do we go about choosing the bid?
You have the right to reject or accept any and all bids. I think that was stated in the bidding prospectus. And you have pretty wide discretion. You can go with the highest bid. You can listen to what people have to say and decide that another bid would be better for the community. That's your discretion.
What do we do? Do we bid on each one individually?
Well,
That's
you
my
have
question.
You have 4 bids. If there's a motion to, I think you have some blanks there. Somebody would move to amend I think it should be in order to say you're gonna sell it to X for whatever that bid amount was. Somebody needs to make that motion to get moving.
Through the chair,
Doris?
yeah, can I say something before we start the voting process?
Well, usually we vote and then discuss. I mean, right before the vote, we discuss.
Okay. I'd like to remind everyone, my vote, for me personally, is a very tough decision. I certainly understand the needs of the food cupboard. I'm one of 10 children. I understand the need. I also understand the need to support local business. McCormick's, I want to remind everyone, McCormick's has been in this area supporting people in this area for close to 50 years. They've survived 2 floods and a huge fire. They're willing to cooperate and work and collaborate with the Winslow Food Cupboard. Maybe even possibly allow them usage for a certain period of time. I certainly think that McCormick's would represent Winslow well, continue to represent Winslow well, and I think it would be a win-win for both Winslow and for the Winslow Community Cupboard. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, through the chair.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I personally would strike the 15,000 and the 21,300 bids.
So moved.
I second it.
Second.
Can we name those people just to make sure we're all on the same page? The 15,000 bid was from who?
The 15,000 was Sean Anderson.
And the 21?
The 21,300 was Dan Ford.
Okay.
Did you move to strike both of those?
Yes.
Yep. All in favor? Yep, struck. I would move my bid to McCormick's in the price of 20,000.
I second it.
Any discussion?
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Dale.
And I've been torn with the two bids myself. Both McCormick's and the food pantry are two of the most important businesses in this town. And they both have a history of it. I feel that McCormick's will work with the food cupboard. I have every confidence in the Farnham family. They've shown it time and time and time again of coming to the support of this community. And the food cupboard, boy, it's a tough decision, either way. We all know what the food cupboard does. And I'm hoping that Steve and Bruce can get together and work on a deal that both of them can agree with to have the food cupboard be able to use that building. And we've heard tonight from Steve that that's a goal. Hopefully it's a goal too, Bruce, that you can work with them to use that building. Thank you.
I wanted to say that along the same lines as Dale, it's a very difficult thing to vote between your head and your heart. The food cupboard, who could ever say that's not so commendable? It is. But then when we sit up here, we also have to think with our minds. And business-wise, McCormick's has been here since 1979. I'm guessing they're going to try to grow their business a little more. That's revenue coming in from McCormick's and the library if it goes that way. Their willingness to work with the cupboard is a godsend, and I hope that truly works out. But McCormick's has proven since 1979 to be very loyal to this town, and bringing business forward is the part we have to think about too with our mind and the revenue that that's going to bring in. So I don't want you to think it's an easy decision, because it certainly isn't. And I really hope it works out for the best for everybody. And that's all I have as well. I'm sorry, did you have something to say? You could say something if you'd like.
Sorry, Madam Chair. One thing else I forgot to say is the flip side of this. I did have discussion with Steve as well, same thing, the building, and one of the primary at the meeting was, if you're looking for a place to push the snow, we have absolutely no problem that he can push the snow onto the property up to the sidewalk where we would need to get in. And I also stated that if he wanted to use the back part, which would be the emergency basement entrance, he could use that all he wants. So there's two sides to this. One, yeah, you could give him the property and then maybe let us use the building 2, 3, 4, 5 years, tear it down. Or the other side, he could plow with snow till the cows come home, and we would still have the building and not tear it down. I just wanted you guys to understand that.
Thank you. Any more discussion from the council? Can we get a vote?
Mike Jost.
Excuse me,
I'm
can
sorry.
you read that again, Fran?
Read the whole thing?
Yeah, to get it.
Providing for the sale of Lithgow Library at 10 Lithgow Street to, in this case, we're voting on McCormick's for the amount of $2,000. I'm sorry, $20,000. Whew, he's over there going, no, no.
Yeah, I think we have to amend this order, so the first vote is to amend.
Well, we have to vote on the order to begin with, then we can amend it if you'd like after, I would believe. How are we going to do that, Bill? That's why I asked before we started.
Amend it first.
I believe you have a motion, this was presented with a blank, correct?
Right?
Okay, you have a motion to adopt it, I believe the motion was made with McCormick's as the purchaser for the sum of $20,000. Now, wasn't that seconded?
Yes,
Okay, then you're
we,
ready to vote on that motion?
that's what I thought. Can we have a vote, please?
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lent,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Move to waive the second.
I second. All in favor? To waive the second?
Yes.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can do roll call.
No, that's what I was
That's all
gonna
right.
say, show of hands.
Mike Joseph,
Yes.
Dale Macklin,
Yes.
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lent,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0 to waive the second reading.
Okay. Moving on, order number 16-2025, authorizing the town manager to pay blank, a total of blank, from the undesignated fund account for the removal and demolition of the junior high.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Through the chair? Mm-hmm. Are you confident on the low bid on that one? I am. Thank you. That's all I need.
Did we,
Through the chair.
go ahead.
I just want to say that when the junior high, the school system got done with that junior high after COVID, and decisions were made on what to do with the junior high at that time. And it was pretty well unanimous among most people that had to get torn down. That was, I guess, maybe 4 years ago, 3 years ago. At that time, to think that we could pay cash to get that place torn down, wasn't in anybody's mind. How are we gonna finance it? How are we gonna finance? And we were throwing around $1 million. But to come into this, to be able to tear down that junior high for $690,000 and pay cash is a heck of an achievement. And we've been working on that for quite a while now. So I would propose we accept the low bid.
The low bid was from who, Steve?
Through the chair, low bid for the demolition of the junior high school was for a company called EnviroVantage for a total of $689,000, $689,895.
And that is the lowest bid we got.
That was the lowest bid. Yes, Madam Chair.
And do we have a time frame?
I thought they said May to June or July.
Yes. The time frame, well, the project duration, according to his packet, states a start date of May 1st, which we know isn't realistic, but a completion date of July 11th.
I thought I read it.
So those dates are flexible, I'm sure. It won't take much to get it down. Madam Chair, if I could, just
course.
add a few
Yep.
comments.
Yes.
Some things to consider with regard to this whole project in and of itself is we do have $50K sitting in capital for this project. But it's also important in talking about this with Paul, it's important to factor in, 10% for change orders, for a pipe that's dug up underneath the ground somewhere that they were not expecting, overruns. So if you factor in 10%, you're roughly $69K. That would bring a total, if you went the full 10%, you're looking at $758,895. So that's just something to consider, when it comes time to pay the bill, how much you may end up digging into the unfunded or undesignated fund balance, so.
Through
Do
the
you have
chair.
any other comments on that, Paul?
Not really, no, I mean, I spoke with that with Steve today because of that, because as best as we can figure, they're gonna run into something we weren't expecting, something that's buried, something that's contaminated that they don't wanna touch for free. You know, there's a lot of unknown, but I did speak to the principal today, he's gonna come up this week sometime, so we can go off the site and get a game plan of what they're planning, and I made the motion, I put the motion to get the CMP in there, remove the transformer that's on the front lawn that belongs to them, get some of that done so the contractor doesn't have to, it's no cost to us anyway, so try to get things moving as quickly as we can, so.
Thank you, Paul. I think
Through
it's
the chair.
Jeff. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Can we just cut right to the chase and do 800,000 max? Just to cover any unexpected costs, so we don't have to come and revisit it again.
The unexpected cost is unknown, so my thought would be, we've got the bid price from the 650 we already put back in at the last meeting, plus the 50 Steve just said, we've already got it covered at
You do have it covered. It's just-
700,000.
It's just something to consider.
It's just a
Right,
contingency.
right. But the undesignated fund isn't going anywhere, so if you need it, you can take it then, right?
But then we have to go through and do orders again to take that money out. If we do it as a max of 800, which we've done numerous times, if it comes in under, we don't spend it anyway.
That happens on just about every single project. When you're over $1 million, you're gonna get overruns, you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it. What do? Put a higher number in now, don't spend it, it stays there, or leave the number alone, and if we need more money, Paul's just gotta come back to the council like he has 100 times before, and ask for more money.
I'm not usually shy, right?
No, you're not, Paul.
Through the chair.
Mike?
Steve,
Yes.
can you tell us, with the money that we had allocated for it, that we figured for, with including the 50,000 that we had already put away, what'd that total up to?
Yeah, I got those notes somewhere.
700,000, I
So
said.
the
740.
740?
So we don't have to take any more out of undesignated funds?
Not now.
No.
No, we're just, by going to an 800 max, you're just covering yourself if there's some overrun somewhere, and then not have to come back here and do it all over again. If it comes in at 750 because they found an overrun, the other 50 just stays where it is. Stays right in the undesignated fund. I'm just trying to avoid having to come back here time and time again for, $20,000 or whatever.
Where does that money go? It's not going to them. You're
No,
just putting
it
it in
just
an
sits-
account.
Allocating for
It just sits there, it's just allocated
It just
to,
allows us
up
spend
to
what we have to.
800,000 before it has to come back to the council.
Yep. It's
Which
not
we-
hurting anything, right?
No,
No, and that would cover the 10% overruns and
Yep.
a couple other things if something ever were to happen, but it doesn't give them free reign.
We still have some outstanding bills on the asbestos removal that I forgot to mention to Steve, that's not totally paid either, that's coming out of undesignated fund balance.
But
but we've already
allocated for
approved,
that.
we've already approved that.
We allocated 100 for that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Through the
So I
chair.
think that cap, that what Jeff said is good, but go ahead, Mike.
Through the chair, I'd like to, is it okay to tell the public and what the highest bid was on that? Just to show how far off they were.
Oh, Yeah, the highest bid. I want to say we were at, it was just over 2.1, 2.1 million.
But I
That's the
think we
highest
did
bid.
very well in getting, Paul was able to get these bids in and get that kind of bid for us.
And also, through the chair,
Dale?
the next highest bid was $100,000 more, I think.
Yeah,
So,
over 100,000.
yeah. The next-
We were
the
very,
next bid.
very fortunate, very fortunate. This year's a good year so far. So what are we going with, guys? Did you want to put it, the total?
I'd make a motion, we do it up to 800.
Can we get a vote on that?
So this is authorization for the town manager to pay EnviroVantage for a total up to 800,000?
Yes.
Okay. Dale Macklin,
Yes,
Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
I guess so.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution,
Paul, could we wait a second to get things going or not?
No, okay. We still have to give him a chance to come up with his bonds and.
Yeah, 'cause we got a meeting on the 12th anyway, right?
yes.
Yep.
Only 2 weeks away, so we should be fine.
Moving on, resolution number 13-2025, confirming the appointment of Vanessa Cody to the position of assessor.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, roll call.
You're good. Fran Hudson,
Yes.
Doris LeBranch,
Yes.
Adam Lint,
Yes.
Lee Trahan,
Yes.
Jeff West,
Yes.
Mike Joseph.
Yes.
Dale Macklin.
Yes.
Passes 7-0. That's Judy crying in the back.
Judy. Oh, she's not happy. She's bittersweet. She's bittersweet. Okay, motion to enter into an executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA subsection 4056E, consultation with the legal counsel.
So moved.
Second.
I request a short recess, Madam
Do we
Chair.
have to vote first that we're going in it? I don't think so. You just
We got a
seconded.
motion in a second.
Just a motion and a second.
Unless anybody abstains from it, or,
Five of you
Yeah, we
have to vote.
can have a 10-minute.
yes,
What did he say?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, did he
at
say
least
we
5
needed-
have to vote.
Did he, oh, okay.
We got 5.